This morning I was meditating on Psalms 119, verse 5. Oh, that my ways were directed to keep your statutes. And as I meditated on that word, something I maybe knew, but now know in a much deeper way. And it is this: love for Him is the driving force. Love is the strength behind obedience. The more love I have for Him, the easier it is to obey Him. That's the revelation, or rather the greater understanding I've gained. I think about 1 John, where it says, His commandments are not burdensome. I've read that verse before, but honestly, sometimes I've looked at His commandments and thought, but they are. Some of them are so hard. Take, for example, thou shalt not lie, or speak no evil of anyone. On the surface, these don't seem burdensome. They sound straightforward. But what about when you're in a situation where speaking the truth might expose your weaknesses? Or when at work, you're just having a conversation, not intending to gossip, yet suddenly you realize that the conversation has turned into exactly that. You think, how did I let that happen? Or maybe it's a moment where you're cornered and feel the pressure to fudge the truth, to protect yourself, to avoid looking bad. In those moments, obedience doesn't feel easy. It feels like a struggle. It's not that the commandments themselves are the burden. It's me. It's us. It's our self-preservation instincts, our lack of vigilance, our inability to keep our mouth in check, to stay mindful. Sometimes it makes me wonder, will I ever get this right? Then there are other commandments. Love your neighbor as yourself. That sounds beautiful until that neighbor gets under your skin. What about when someone offends you and you're trying so hard not to hold on to that offense, not to let bitterness take root? You know what's right. You want to do what's right. But it can feel so hard to love someone who feels impossible to love. And yet, here's what He's showing me. That the more I love Him, the more I truly love Him, the more everything else falls into place. Love for Him is the power, the fuel, the force that drives us toward obedience. So that it's not a struggle anymore. It's effortless. When we love Him deeply, our desire to please Him overwhelms every other desire. We don't want anything to come between us and God. And we don't want anything that would separate us from Him. So here's the truth I'm grasping. When I'm fully in love with Him, when my heart is captivated by Him, obedience is no longer something I try to do. It becomes who I am. It becomes natural. The love I have for Him pulls me, compels me, and empowers me to keep His commandments without effort. Obedience flows from love. And that love makes His commandments not burdensome, but delightful. And that's the revelation I hold on to. The more I love Him, the more I become like Him, and the easier it is to walk in His ways.